So UFC 311 is knocking on our doors, and today I am gonna predict how the fights are gonna go, and we're gonna start it right off with Kevin Holland versus Rainier the Dutch guy, basically. I'm gonna be honest, I've never seen this guy fight, so I'm gonna pick Kevin Holland. And yeah, screw you, I'm not your favorite MMA YouTuber who's gonna watch tape and go into details, go into the statistics. No, I believe Kevin Holland is gonna win because I know him, and it says here that he is the minus 155 favorite. So I'm going with Kevin Holland. Screw you, stop overthinking everything. Now watch me be horribly wrong. Wait, actually this fight is at middleweight, which is super stupid in my opinion. Okay, maybe Kevin loses this. Is this guy a grappler? Probably not. He's Dutch. Like, we're all kickboxers, I believe. So I'm gonna pick Kevin Holland without doing any research, shamelessly. Now let's get to the next fight, which is way more exciting, and this is Jiri Procrastinate. Anyone notice how we still don't know how to pronounce Jiri's last name? But anyways, it's Jiri versus Jamahal Hill. Light heavyweight bout. Jiri is the favorite. However, I think this fight is gonna be very close. And we're really gonna see who has learned from the Pereira defeat. Because admittedly, Jiri's loss to Pereira was way worse than Jamal's actually. Because Jamal was in there in round 1 and then he just was mentally switched off for a second and then boom, left hook connects, Jamal Hill is out, rest is history. Jiri really couldn't find a way to hit Alex cleanly and also not be hit himself, and he left himself wide open. He also did so in the Rakic fight and in the first Pereira fight, so I'm not sure if Jiri has actually learned from his mistakes, but I do trust in Jiri to get this done this time. But him losing to Jamal Hill wouldn't be a surprise in my opinion. But I actually think this fight, if Jamal Hill wins, it's probably by a decision. I don't see him finishing Jiri, as good as he is. Now let's get to Beneil Dariush and Renato Moicano. Listen man, Beneil, he's cooked, bro. He's washed, he's cooked up, he's roasted, grilled, he's everything. Renato Moicano is finally stringing some good wins together. I believe he's gonna win. He's also a pretty big favorite at minus 230. But because it's Moicano, I already know he's gonna make it way closer than it has to be, I feel like. Especially if he relies on the grappling, because Dariush is by no means a bad grappler. So I am picking Renato just because he's the younger guy and he has the better win streak, but this fight is gonna be close and I believe he's gonna win by a decision. Next up, let's get to Merab Dvalishvili versus Umar Nurmagomedov. And listen man, Merab is being heavily underestimated, and I am really interested in how this fight goes because I feel like the last time we got a grappler versus grappler match for a championship belt is actually pretty long. Like I can recall Usman versus Covington, I guess, but this fight is very interesting in my opinion. I think Umar definitely has the edge when it comes to striking, but Merab obviously has that relentless cardio and he's gonna shoot for 1,000,000 takedowns, and of course Umar is gonna defend a lot of them and also know what to do with defended takedowns, because strikers usually, they just defend takedowns and try to get away. Umar can maybe even turn the position into one that favors him. So Merab is gonna struggle a lot more than he has in his other recent fights. But I still think he's gonna get Umar down, and I am not sure if Umar will actually shoot for takedowns against Merab or if he will actually have the chance, and we don't know a lot about Merab's takedown defense at the moment. So I'm really looking forward to this fight. I am picking Umar Nurmagomedov because I do think he's both the better grappler and the better striker. Obviously Merab just has that trademark killer cardio and spam takedown style, but I don't think it's gonna work against such a high level fighter and grappler like Umar Nurmagomedov. And now for the main fight, Islam Makhachev versus Arman Tsarukyan. Islam is a huge favorite in this fight, minus 360, but I believe this fight is gonna be yet again another close Islam Makhachev fight. I don't think he's gonna get a finish. I do think it's gonna go to a submission, and I actually think it's gonna be quite similar to their first fight. We're just gonna see who improved more over these last few years. And Arman is gonna hit Islam, he's gonna clip him clean. But I don't think it's gonna be enough. I think we're gonna have a technical battle on the feet, and when it comes to the takedowns, we'll have some nice entertaining scrambles, but I still think Islam will come out on top at these grappling sequences, just like he did in the first fight. Obviously Arman took that one on short notice, but I don't think it's gonna look a lot different, and I feel like Islam is gonna do well to adapt because he's already shown himself adapting quite well to the Volkanovski rematch. Even if Volk was on short notice, he still studied Volk, studied his weaknesses, and was like the first fighter to see the opening for the head kicks. Pretty sure Yair saw that opening as well, but just couldn't do it because he's Yair Rodriguez. I don't know. So I am picking Islam Makhachev because obviously you just have to go with Islam Makhachev due to the recent history, but I do think Arman is going to make it tough for him. I don't think it's going to be an all-out war, but I think it's going to be pretty technical. If you're an Islam Makhachev fan like I am, I would not prepare for a dominant title defense because I think it's going to be really close and competitive, with Islam probably winning like 49-46 or 48-47 even. I think this is going to be a close fight that is going to lead a lot of people to doubting Islam Makhachev, but I believe he will further cement his legacy and maybe look to move to welterweight, but at the moment Belal Muhammad is the champion, so he's probably gonna have to stay in the lightweight division. Dana White confirmed that the winner will face Charles Oliveira, but Dana White has confirmed a lot of things that haven't happened then, so we're not sure what's next for Islam. But yeah, I think Islam is gonna win this fight at lightweight, probably fight once or twice more, then we're all gonna talk about him moving to welterweight and he's gonna retire because, listen man, he's Khabib 2.0. I know I'll get hate for saying this because Islam's fighting style is way different and way more technical even, but they're still like cut essentially from the same cloth, okay? So I think Islam Makhachev is gonna retire earlier than a lot of people want him to, and I'm saying Islam Makhachev doesn't have more than 3 fights left. I think 1 or 2 more fights after this one, and then he's actually gonna retire. If he somehow loses to Arman, they're obviously gonna do the trilogy because at this point you have to. Islam is just so dominant and he has already beaten Arman once. I'm picking Islam Makhachev. In general, I think it will be a very decision heavy card. I mean, Umar and Merab, like, I don't see a finish happening there. Islam Makhachev and Arman Tsarukyan is such a high level fight. I feel like in super high level fights at lower weight classes, finishes just aren't that common. I mean, look at all 3 fights between Volkanovski and Holloway. These guys are so high level, they can't even finish each other because they're so close to each other. So yeah, Kevin Holland is probably gonna win. Jiri, Moicano, not Merab, Umar and Islam. But I'm really looking forward to this fight card. It's gonna be a good and technical one, but maybe don't hype yourself up for some flashy knockouts because I don't think that is likely to happen.